The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Cut. Cut is the peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US-based and available in 40 states. Head to KUTT.com. That's KUTT.com. Use promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play their fantasy pick'em for a chance to win 100x in NBA, NHL, college basketball, and more. Sign up today using promo code SGPN to get a 100% deposit match. We're also brought to you by Champs. Run your March Madness pool and enter Champs free bracket contest for a chance to win $1,000. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/champs to enter today. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really real, villain real. It's Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. Whoa, that's not right. There we go. And man, oh man. I mean, dang, I had something to talk about. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah.
Josh Hart's good at basketball. I don't know where you're going with this.
No, Josh Hart's good at basketball. That's not what I was going to talk about. What I was going to say is that Trace Jackson Davis, welcome to hell. Welcome to hell, Trace Jackson Davis. I cannot wait to fade him today. Oh, I can't wait to fade him today. Oh, it's going to be great. I mean,
do you remember what happened to the last guy that posterized
and the guy before that, and the
Yeah.
guy before that, and the guy before that, and the guy before that? He has no shot. He has no shot. He might not even finish the game today. You do not embarrass the poster child of the NBA like that. You don't.
Well, poster child's probably the right word in this case, but yes, that's probably the right word to use.
Literally the right word. Scott Studio Reichel. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, doing okay. Not the greatest show yesterday for me. I feel like the sides and the totals were okay, but I ended up going twice with the Rockets game for my lock and dog picks. Those didn't work out. Van Vliet, I think he only had 1 assist at the half, and he finished with 7. So a bit of a slow start there. Needed him to get a double-double. He didn't get there. In fact, he actually had 7 and 7. So he almost had a triple-double, kind of. But either way, didn't do me any favors. And I Dylan Brooks under. And I think he went over by either half a point or a point and a half. Point is, Brooks did not shoot the ball well, but he kept shooting, and he eventually got over. So not exactly the best episode for me. Overall, though, pretty, I don't want to say uneventful day in the NBA, but we've definitely had more exciting days, let's put it that way. They need to stop putting the Sixers on TV until Embiid comes back. They're just not worth the cable space. Props to Josh Hart, though, who had a 19-rebound triple-double. He was phenomenal in that game. Besides that, the Pacers had a nice win on the road at 6'4". Yeah, 19 rebounds at 6'4". I've praised Josh Hart many times on the show. I love him as a player. And Anunoby looked good in his first game back in about a month and change. So the Knicks, I believe, have allowed less than 80 points in 3 straight games, I think, which tells you how good this tells you how good this defense is actually playing right now. Pacers had a nice win on the road against OKC. Boston beat Utah. Utah's a terrible team. Doesn't really mean anything. Timberwolves had a nice win against the Clippers. Kawhi got injured. We could say that Kawhi's health was a ticking time bomb, and ever since he got injured a couple weeks ago, it's kind of been spiraling out of control. At this point, he had back spasms, and as a result, he ended up missing most of that game. And then you had the Kings, who snapped the 15-game losing streak against the Bucks as they won by 35. So, yeah, Kings dominated. The Clippers got buried. Kawhi got injured. That was the main story of that game. And the Pacers looked good, and Josh Hart looked really, really good. And so did Anunoby. That's kind of it. You have anything else you want to
add? We have to talk. Well, we don't have to talk about it, but going forward, when evaluating the Bucks, you can't take them at where they started out after All-Star break. They are absolutely giving up anything and everything to teams right now. So back on fate in the Bucks defensively for sure. It was a nice little run they had, though. They had a nice little run. All right. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and talk about the slate. I'm done talking about old news, talking about today's news, and we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 game slate today.
We have 9 games.
It feels like it's been a while since we've had at least I've had a 13 game, like a massive slate. I feel like it's been a little while. I feel like it's been like 6, 7, 8, 9 might be the most.
But what do you like? What do you like
However,
more? Do you like it when you have 14 games one day and then like 4 games the day after? Do you like actually having like 8 and 9 almost every day?
I think I like the 8 or 9 every day. Even though there's some days that I kind of wish I had like a 13, 14, because there's some days that, you'll see 6, 7, 8 games on the slate, and the matchups will be so weird that you're like, oh, I actually don't like any of these games.
Fair.
But
fair point.
It's a lot to like today. We'll start off here. Toronto Raptors on the road going to play the Detroit Pistons. Detroit open up -1.5. They are currently sitting at -3.5. 233.5 is the total here. Injury report for the two teams, and we have Emmanuel Quickley is questionable. Gary Trent Jr. is also questionable. RJ Barrett is out. DJ Carton is out. Chris Boucher is done. Scotty Barnes is done, and Jakob Poeltl is done. For the Pistons, Ausar Thompson is questionable, and that's it. So we're waiting to see who the Toronto Raptors are playing. Pistons are otherwise laying 3.5. What are you doing?
So I'll start here.
Yeah.
That is definitely warranted for this
deserved. Yeah, deserved. I'm not mad.
I mean, the Pistons have been better recently, bar set really low on their behalf. But the question for the Raptors is who's actually healthy for this team? Because Quickley might not play. Gary Trent might not play. We know Barrett's already out. Barnes already out. There's a reason why the Nuggets were laying 17.5 last game. Yes, Toronto came out and they were dominating the game for a decent portion of it. But the point is Toronto is, I don't want to say a G League squad, but you get my point. Like, they're missing a lot of key guys on this team, and Detroit is only missing one guy. And Thompson's a rookie who's kind of had an up and down rookie season. So I guess based on the injury report, I'm leaning to Detroit. The problem is that involves laying points in a toilet bowl, and I don't know if that's ever recommended by anybody. So I think I'm going to lean to Detroit. I don't feel great about it, but I think Toronto's a really bad basketball team. And watching them play, they can't guard anybody. Offensively, they've been pretty underwhelming with all the injuries they've had. And I don't know how quickly he's actually done with Toronto, because his stats are okay, but defensively they're atrocious because Quickley was never a good defensive player. And it just feels like with the move they made midseason and now the injuries, I really don't want to back Toronto in any close spreads. I'm going to lean to Detroit. It feels like this team, even though record-wise is definitely not good by any means, at least there's some, I'd say, progress over the course of the season. They've won 2 of the last 3 at home, beat the Nets by 6, beat the Hornets by 17. Scoring 114 against the Hornets, actually not that bad, because the Hornets, we know defensively have been good since the trade deadline. I'm going to lean to Detroit. They've played better basketball recently, and I know Toronto can't really guard anyone. I'm going to lean to the Pistons.
Yeah, betting aside on this game is pretty much not where you want to be at here. You look at the last 5 games for both of these two teams, and Toronto hasn't covered 3.5 in 4 or 5 games, and Detroit hasn't covered 3.5 on the other end in 3 and 5 games. And so it's just really not a good spot for either one of them, backing either one of them on the spread and really feeling good about it. Yeah, sure. If I had gun in my head, give me the Pistons. One, because I have that Wizards future, that the Wizards just got back on track last night. Shout out to the Wizards for getting back on track on the fewest wins category, losing
and
to the Grizzlies. Yep. So I really, really, really need a Detroit win here. I need as many Detroit wins as I can get, and this is a spot they can get a win. So that's not where I'm choosing to back this game. However, where I am choosing to back the game is the team total, because I do think Detroit is going to score. I just don't know if they're going to give up the points to Toronto, but I think they're going to be able to score. Detroit's team total is at 118.5, -110. And I like those odds. You sit here, you look at what Toronto's doing defensively, and they're 29th in the past 5 games in terms of Opponents' points per game, giving up an average of, where'd my screen go? There we go. Average of 123.6 points per game. So you sit here, you got Cade Cunningham still running the offense, Jalen Duren, and you talk about no Jakob, so they're losing a little bit of rim protection there. No Chris Boucher, that's another depth piece for them. You're rolling out a whole bunch of some of these guys are two-way guys that they're rolling out here, and it might be no quickly. So, I'm going to take my shot. I like Detroit team total over 18.5. No Scotty Barnes as well. That's really, I think, the only bet that I would place on this game. Anything else you like for the team total or for player props?
For player props, I see Gary Trent Jr. is questionable, but I am kind of tempted by the under 19.5 points if he does play in this game. Just based on Gary Trent's overall offensive style, we know is mostly a three-point shooter at this point, so he doesn't really create much with the actual dribble. He's gone under this number. His point total's at 19.5. He has gone under in 16 of 20, and he's banged up. So I am wondering if either we see a lot of players get injured mid-game. They go to a locker room situation. Seems to have happened a lot more recently. But Trent, in general, we know with him not being able to create his own shot for the most part, if Detroit just doesn't leave him wide open, then I question how he's going to get to 20. He's been in good form recently, but against Detroit, he actually has been held relatively in check in the last couple head-to-head meetings. 19.5 just feels a bit high to me, based on the injury news as well. So I'm going to lean to the under 19.5 points on Gary Trent Jr.
All right. Yeah, I really don't have any player props for this one. If I had to play anything, it'd probably be a points and assists by Cade Cunningham. And that's probably it. I don't think that they have anybody that can really guard them, and I don't think they don't have the defense to stop anybody else. So I think the assist would be there. So maybe a points and assist play for Cade, but that's really it for me on that card. Before we get to
I don't
the
see
next
Olynyk threes, but I'd be tempted by Olynyk threes, but I don't see a prop on him, so that's gonna have to wait.
Yeah, all right. Merch Madness, 15% off everything in the merch store. Promo code Madness. Make sure you use that promo code to get 15% off. We got new hats, so make sure you go in there and check out the NBA Gambling Podcast hats and go get a couple of those. Hey, I'm a TC guy still, so I wouldn't mind if you go in there and grab your first half unders t-shirt as well. So make sure you do that. The tournament is right around the corner next week, actually. It's next week. So make sure you tap in. 15% off everything in the merch store. Promo code Madness. That is store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com to get to our merch store. Store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. We're also brought to you by Cut, the peer-to-peer social betting platform that's available in 40 states. They're US-based, and you have a chance to, get lower VIG, fully customizable odds. You can sit there and we can create our own bets. Like, you can create your own bet as long as you have something that can have a definitive outcome, 100% definitive outcome. You can create a bet for it and go out there and do that. So make sure you do that for sure. All right. Rewards, social features, leaderboards. Make sure you join the SGPN chat as well. Sean and Ryan have Sean and Ryan versus each other in their college basketball bets that you can get behind Sean, you can get behind Ryan, and you can make you some money. So make sure you do that on Cut. Download Cut today in the App Store or use cut.com. That's KUTT.com. Use promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. We give you an underdog lineup at the end of every show. But for those that don't know, Underdog is where you can pick your favorite players higher or lower, as you see on the screen. And if you put together the right combination in your entry, then guess what? You can win up to 100 times the money you put in. 100x, up to 100x. That's what you can do on Underdog. 100% deposit match up to $100. Make sure you use that promo code SGPN. You can also make rival picks. You can pick between 2 players. You can pick 3 players, 4 players, 5 players. It doesn't matter. You can do that and try to increase your outcome. So sign up today with promo code SGPN and get your first deposit doubled up to $100, as well as an instant pick'em special. Visit UnderdogFantasy.com or find them in the App Store. And don't forget to register with my promo code NBA. I'm sorry, I keep saying SGPN. Add NBA in front of that. NBA SGPN, because we are in a contest with the other shows. And we want to make sure that we win. Last month, we was close. We was second place. Appreciate everybody that supported, by the way. We was second place. We lost to, the fantasy football guys who were in the offseason, but they were walking around like Jehovah Witnesses getting signups, and we won't doing that. Maybe that's what we got to do this month. I might have to go knock door to door and spread the word of Underdog Fantasy. So make sure you use Underdog Fantasy promo code NBA SGPN to get your first deposit double up to $100, as well as the instant pick'em special. Must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit www.ncpgambling.org. All right. Scott Studio Reichel. Romance Ray is in the chat. Q, what up? He said it's 313 day.
I wanted to give a quick shout out. I just got a tweet from somebody. Somebody added me. Cameron saying, I'm already on Underdog, but I got my brother to sign up with NBA SGPN. So thanks a lot, Cameron. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate that, Cameron, for sure. Hey, I think everybody should follow Cameron's great example. If you're already signed up on Underdog, cool. Just go over and make sure that you sign your brother up or your sister up or your son or daughter or mother, father, stepfather, stepmother, all these other options, grandmother, shoot, it doesn't matter. Sign them up. 313 day in Detroit. Another good reason to back them. He says he's on the Pistons first quarter money line. I saw somebody else that said Pistons first quarter. CD player asking if he playing Pistons first quarter again. Yeah. I don't trust Toronto, man. I don't know what they have going on. I just don't know. I don't even know who's playing.
They don't know what they have going on. Masai doesn't know what they have going on.
Although they did really like after that Nuggets game, I just gotta assume that they're gonna have such a flat spot today. But we'll see if one of these two teams has a flat spot because the Orlando Magic welcome to Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn is laying 7. I've seen this get up to 7.5, but it's currently sitting at 7. 205.5 is the total injury report here for these two teams that we have for the Brooklyn Nets. Cam Johnson is probable. Ben Simmons is not playing, of course. Dariq Whitehead's also out for the season. And for the Orlando Magic, Jalen Suggs is not on the injury report, and Markelle Fultz is not on the injury report. In fact, both of those two players did practice yesterday, so looks like they're going to be a go. Laying 7 with Orlando at home against the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, I can't believe we're in the middle of March and two teams have nobody on the injury report, at least according to the initial guys. Ben Simmons, we know, is out for the year. He's been out for the year for a couple weeks already. But both teams are relatively healthy for the most part. Orlando's the better team. We know it's not close. Tony Brothers is the ref for this game, so it might get a little bit interesting at some point. But I am leaning to Orlando in the spot. The Nets, we know, are just not a good basketball team, just simply put. I expect an ugly game. It's why this total's too low, or why it's very low. But Orlando's the better team,
low?
just simply put. Yeah, too low is not the right word. I meant very low. But I'm not going to take the over in this game. I'm going to lean under. We saw Cam Thomas come back recently, and the Nets have still not been objectively good. Orlando's been in good form. They weren't exactly putting their best foot forward last time out, so I do expect Orlando to be a little bit focused for this game because they were on a good run. The Nets ended up burying the Cavs, but Donovan Mitchell didn't play in that game, so I don't know if that actually means anything. But still, point is looking at the Magic. They were in great form, and then they no-showed the last two games against the Knicks and against the Pacers at home. They are 21-9 at home. The Nets are 10-21 straight up on the road. After losing back-to-back games in blowout fashion, I do expect Orlando to bring it in this game, and I expect a bit of a chip on their shoulder. I'm going to lean to Orlando in this spot.
You
think it's too many?
I have concern laying this big of a number with a total that's so low. Like so we know that there's teams that just can't fucking score. Like we know it's teams that just can't fucking score. But in today's NBA, to say that you're assuming a team is going to score under 90 is kind of insane. Like it's kind of insane to project a team. Yeah, you're not going to get to 90 points. Like everybody, for the most part, gets to 90 points any given night. And so I think this is like I think first to 100 wins. And so there's a really, really small room for error there for you to lay 7 and be able to cover this. And this game still goes under. And I think the game does go under because both of these two teams are stout defensively. You look at the Orlando Magic, and they're currently third in the past 5 games in defensive rating. You have the Brooklyn Nets, who are actually Down close, a little bit further down at 15, but they're doing really, really good. 10th in opponents' points per game in the last 5 games. And Orlando Magic are second in that same metric. I expect to see a slow pace in this game. The Orlando Magic at home, 27th in pace. Brooklyn Nets, 23rd in pace over the past 5 games. I think this is going to be a slower pace game, ugly, very ugly, ugly game. But I don't know if I'm just going to sit there and say that Orlando's defense is going to be so uber good that they're going to hold them under 90. And if they get to 90, it's a good chance that they might cover 7. So I don't think Brooklyn wins this game by any means. But I think this is going to be a closer game. I'll take Brooklyn plus 7.
I'm going to lean to Orlando just because I think physically they can give the Nets problems. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. But fair point.
It's actually crazy that they've been playing really good against power forwards, and I don't know about Paolo.
Who's
Banchero
they?
today.
The Nets, you mean
the Nets?
Magic?
The Nets.
Okay.
Nets been really, really good. I was trying to get down on Paolo Banchero earlier, but it just kind of wasn't really sitting well with me. I think this is one of those max under games where nobody really scores consistently, and it just looks super duper ugly. And Brooklyn's been really, really good defensively over the last few games, man. And so under 205.5 is my better play for the game. I think I lean the Nets. I really do think that there's not much room for error here with the Nets, but 205.5, I really think this is still going under that total. So yeah. Eddie said he heard me wilding out on the college pod. I wasn't even doing anything wild with them. I was chilling. It was like 3 other guys. I was chilling. I was having a great time getting in on some college sweats. I got I got my best bet of Louisville plus 9.5 covered by the hook.
What a sweat.
I was chilling.
What a sweat.
What a fucking sweat.
What a sweat.
What a fucking sweat. Okay. Oh my God. And the thing is, at half, I'm like, oh, I might get this money line play. And then no. And then it's like, oh, we're going back and forth at the end. I mean,
it's because Sky Clark made like 8 of 9 threes and he got fouled on a 3-pointer in the final 20 seconds. But you got there.
It's fucking great. It's fucking great, man. Just love it. Louisville was good to me. Pussy Pack, let those minus 9.5 bettors down. All right. I told you, I don't really like any player props. I may be tempted by some rebound props if you tell me something and it sounds good, and I might be like, oh yeah, I agree. But for me, this just kind of feels like an all-under game for
yeah. I mean, the last meeting, Orlando beat the Nets 108-81. So it's kind of weird because the first 2 meetings were very high scoring, and then the third meeting absolutely died. So I agree with you on the under. I'm not going to overreact to the Nets beating the Cavs because the Cavs, without Donovan Mitchell, they've had a bunch of injuries anyway. Mobley's out too, but you get the point. They're a bit shorthanded. The Cavs have been kind of up and down recently. What?
I don't know. I think kind of shorthanded. They should have had a better performance than that. I get it, but if I'm gonna praise the Cavs for looking good, if I'm gonna praise the Cavs for looking good with Donovan Mitchell out, with Mobley out, like they have all season, then I'm definitely gonna give you shit when you lay an egg against Brooklyn, who is really, really, really not a good basketball team.
That's a fair point. I'm just saying the Nets, the 2 games before that, lost to Detroit and Charlotte on the road. So I'm not sold on this Nets team because of 1 game. I'll lean to Orlando.
All right. Chicago Bulls on the road going to play the Indiana Pacers. Pacers opened up minus 3.5. They are now -4. 229 is the total. That's dropped from 233.5. Injury report. Chicago Bulls. Torrey Craig, probable. Julian Phillips, questionable. No Levine, Williams, Ball, all out for the season. For the Pacers, they played yesterday in what a game against the OKC Thunder. Great win on the road. Doug McDermott, James Johnson. They're TBD. We'll see what they do. But you know who you're not going to see? Ben Mathurin, because he's out for the year with that shoulder injury. I have a lock in this game. I'm not going to lie. I have a lock in this game. But I want to go to you first. What do you want to do here, lane 4 with the Pacers on the back-to-back?
Don't we have to take the Bulls? Haven't we spent the entire season talking about how the Pacers are the worst back-to-back team in the league? Like we spent so much time talking about this. I think we have. Aren't they abysmal in back-to-backs?
Let me go look real quick. I actually don't remember that at all, but let me go look.
I know we've definitely talked about this before. They're really bad. The Bulls have been in bad form too, so I know it's not a great spot, but The line's
yeah,
very
2 and
short
9.
for a reason. They're 2 and 9 on
Oh, yeah,
back to
2 and
backs.
9.
I can't lay 3.5. I can't lay 3.5.
Well, 2 and 9
there.
ATS. I know you like your win loss. Let me find their win loss as well. But 2 and 9
Assuming they're
ATS on
favorites,
back to backs, and then you have they are still 2 and 9 ATS as well. 2 and 9 ATS, 2 and 9 straight up on back to backs.
Yeah, the Pacers had a nice win against OKC. I wonder if there's a letdown spot there. The Bulls have been really bad lately. Like, I'm aware of that. But when we're talking about going with trends that have worked out well, I'm hoping the Bulls, after getting buried at home by Dallas by 35, actually just show up for a game. A little bit of pride there. But it's mostly fading Indiana on a back-to-back. The line's very short. It's pretty sketchy how short the line actually is based on current form. I think it's trappy. I'm going to lean to Chicago.
All right. Yeah, lean to Chicago. That's fine. Pacers 2 and 9 back to backs. Yeah, I really don't care about that. The total at 229. So I committed a cardinal sin yesterday, and I was really, really kicking myself afterwards, but everything just led me to believe over. Everything led me to believe over. The pace, the thunder, they run and gun, all of that stuff. And ultimately, I ignored the fact that what do we know about this Pacers team? They fucking go under on the road and they go over at home. It's consistent at this point. They go under on the road and over at home. So everybody's saying that game yesterday, the total died in the first quarter. You had no shot at the total in the first quarter. No shot. In fact, I actually went and got my money back by playing the over 218 in the first quarter because I was like, it's just no way the total is going to drop that much. But it was no shot. That total died in the first quarter. Now we get them back at home. And I'm not falling for it again. I understand why people are backing the under. I understand the Pacers are on a back-to-back. I understand the Bulls somewhat show up defensively from time to time. I understand all of that. But at the end of the day, the Pacers are at home. They're 20 and 13 to the over at home. Inverse on the road. Yeah. Not. You're not getting me twice. You're not getting me twice. I'm locking up the over 229 against the Chicago Bulls and the Indiana Pacers. I think Chicago Bulls team total over is live as well. I think they'll handle the scoring on there, and especially with the poor play of the Pacers on back-to-backs. So I like a Chicago Bulls team total over. I might actually get down on that as well. And yeah, I'm with you. I think this is a pretty decent spot for Chicago, especially after the embarrassment they had at home against Dallas last game out, where they lost in 170. It felt like they had 170 points, but it was 127 to 92. They were unable to score. I think that this is a much, much better matchup where they're going to go and they're going to find a way to put the ball in the basket, because 92 points against Dallas defense, you have to bounce back after that. So with a 229 total, that team total for the Chicago Bulls is sitting at 112.5. I think you can get to 113 against the Pacers at home.
I think they can get there too. For the total, it's dropped like 5 points, and I get you're making the argument for even just a good buy low spot on the over.
Yep.
A part of me does kind of like the under. Indiana defensively has actually been decent recently. Yes, I know you mentioned the home road splits for totals are pretty alarming for Indiana, and based on the home numbers, this would be a good over spot. But Indiana defensively, 111 against OKC, 97 against Orlando, 113 against Minnesota. The last 3 games have been pretty good defensively, and Chicago offensively scored less than 103 in each of the last 2 games. I think I'm going to lean under in this game. Maybe Indiana sits some guys. We'll see what happens. The first 2 meetings, by the way, between these teams did end up going under 125. To be fair, both meetings were in 2023. They weren't even post-January, so that was a long time ago. But either way, I'm going to lean under. I'm not going to bet it. I have to back the bet. I have to at least acknowledge the back-to-back trend, which is Indiana is just useless on back-to-backs. That's kind of how I'm looking at the game. I'm hoping after Chicago got buried, Luka was stat padding in the fourth quarter on your own home floor. You got to show some pride here. You have to show some pride. I'm going to lean to Chicago.
17, 15, and 1 ATS on the road. Like they're slightly better on the road than they are at home. And I mean, you kind of helped my point there. On the road, they gave up 111 to OKC. On the road, they gave up 97 to Orlando. At home, they gave up 113 to Minnesota. Total sitting here at 112.5 tonight. We're good. All right, player props. What you like?
For player props in this game, well, question: if you are going to be thinking that the Bulls keep the game competitive, would you rather back
I don't.
DeRozan or
Actually,
Kobe
it
White?
might not be competitive. Like they might run away with it. There's a chance. There's
Either
a
way, though, point is,
possible
if you
chance
think the
they
Bulls
run away with it.
offensively show up today, do you like Kobe White? Or do you like
Yeah.
DeRozan?
Kobe.
For both.
I feel like I like Kobe White. Let's
Okay.
go. Let's look on Hall of Fame bets. Let's see what Hall of Fame bet says. But I feel like I like Kobe White just off first instinct. I didn't really look towards the player props in this one. I probably should get further down on the Chicago Bulls here, but Kobe White is just a machine, man. He literally does everything. Points, rebounds, assists. Like that's been a prop that we've been talking about Kobe White all year. Yes, he's had different stretches where it wasn't good, but all year he's been really good to the points, rebounds, and assist line, the RA line, as I see Adam down there talking about. So yeah, I think I'm gonna load up today on a bunch of Bulls. I think that we're getting a little bit of a value on them being a dog here on the road, and like I said, I think that they're going to go, at the very least, they go over their team total. Hopefully, Indiana comes to play. They're at home. Yes, a back to back, and that's a bad spot. So hopefully they come to play. But at the very least, I know we're getting the Bulls.
Yeah, I think I'm going to lean to DeRozan points at 23.5. He's added at least 24 points in 7 of his last 9. And if you want to even go back further, he's been really
Mm-hmm.
underrated in his last 20. In the last month and change, he's added at least 24 points in 15 of his last 20 games. 15 of his last 20, and you can
Yep.
get the 23.5 at minus 119. Just based on the overall form and what we think Chicago might do offensively in this game, I'm going to take DeRozan over. I just think the volume's going to be there.
All right. You got DeRozan. I'll take Kobe White. Kobe White, and then add Vucevic down low. I like the Vucevic play as well. He didn't score, but I'll take Kobe White and Kobe White to get it done. He's hit what 3 of the last 5. He's gotten over
Yeah, I think
20.
so.
Yeah, 3 of the last 5 he's gotten over 20. He had some pretty big games. A couple of slow games. The 19 points against the Clippers, and then nobody showed up against Dallas. They were out of that. They didn't even play the full game. So bounce back spot for Kobe White. I like it. All right. Let's see here. Before we get to the next game on the slate, got to talk to you about AG1. AG1. Hey, look, when my digestive system doesn't feel the best, when I'm not focused, when I'm slow, like, do you ever wake up from a nap or wake up from a slumber, a sleep, whatever it is, and you're still tired? And you're like, I just slept
Every
for
day.
freaking 8 hours and I'm still tired? What? AG1. AG1, AG1, AG1. You can feel a real difference in your daily health. It gives you energy. You feel relaxed, less stressed. Helps you really just get through the day. You can add it in your smoothies. I like to do that. Add it in the smoothies. Has a really good taste. Like I still felt like I was drinking my regular smoothie. I just added AG1 in there. So you replace multivitamins with AG1, and it gives you a whole bunch of vitamin C, zinc, folate, magnesium, all these other really big words that I can't pronounce. That's all in AG1. So make sure you tap in. They have a team of doctors, and it's tested for over 950 contaminants, and it's NSF certified for sports. So make sure you tap in to AG1, everybody. I told you I feel more energetic with it. So make sure you guys lock in with it too. If you want to take ownership of your health, start with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 packs, travel packs. So when you subscribe, make sure you go to drinkag1.com/SGPN. That's drinkag1.com/SGPN. And hey, help us out and check it out. Help us out. Yeah, Scott definitely does. Scott definitely doesn't sleep 8 hours. Well, Scott, when's the last time you got 8 hours of sleep straight?
Straight? That's a good question. I don't know. Did I today? I don't know. I've been sick, so I've been trying to actually sleep more. So I might have actually gotten it yesterday, but yeah, it's been a while. Usually I break it down.
Oh man. All right. Next game on the slate. We have there we go. Oh, I couldn't wait for this one. The Denver Nuggets are on the road going to play the Miami Heat. Denver's laying 2.5 at home. No, at home. I'm not at home. I'm sorry. It opened up 2.5. That's what I meant to say. Opened up 2.5. Now it's currently sitting at 3.5. 215.5 is the total injury report for these two teams. And I have here for the Denver Nuggets, nothing to report. Kankar is injured, as we already knew. And for the Miami Heat, wow, this is actually relatively short for a Miami Heat injury report. Jimmy Butler is probable. Tyler Hero's out. Kevin Love's out. No Josh Richardson for the rest of the year. Yeah, it's nothing to think about here. We have the Miami Heat as a dog, the Miami Heat as a home dog. And we have Denver on the road that is 13, 18, and 1 ATS this season. So, first matchup was it depends where you got the line. I think the majority of people, I know I got the line at 7, so I pushed.
Yeah.
But I think a majority of people got 7. Or was it?
I think
6.
I think
it was 6.
Most people got
6
5.5.
Yeah, most people got 5.5. Some people got 5.5. I got 6. It was kind of, I think it was half and half, but I didn't see as many people upset about that as I would have thought to see. Like, I feel like a lot of people just pushed and moved on. But here it says that, well, they actually had it at 6.5 here, but it was really it was fluctuating that whole time. Basically, what I'm saying is Miami was in the game. I think they're going to be in the game this time. Matter of fact, I think Miami's actually going to win outright because I just don't trust Denver on the road. And this is such a Miami spot. Come on now. Rob Show Productions is saying, do we even have to go over what Real would do? No, we don't. It's Miami plus 3.5.
Normally, I would agree with you with Miami, but this team was in very good
form
about a month
and choosing.
Ago. I kind of have to. The Heat have been terrible the last. I mean, yes, a couple of those games were on the road, and you could argue that the Wizards game was a classic look-ahead spot to Denver because they no-showed the game against one of the worst teams in the league. Now they have the defending champions coming to town.
Before you say, I wouldn't even say it was a look-ahead spot. They were laying 11.5.
I know, but they lost the game outright.
If you took Miami minus 11.5, then we really, really need to call 1-800-GAMBLER. We really, really need to have a discussion if you laid 11.5 with Miami, especially at home.
I'm not arguing about the spread. I'm just saying you lost outright to the Wizards. It's one thing if you're going to not cover. Okay,
I bet you if they were 11.5 point dogs to the Wizards, they would have covered. It's not their fault.
I mean,
it's not their fault. Look at the last 5 games. The last 5 games, okay, they have one time that they didn't cover as a dog, the 4.5 against Dallas. They covered 8.5 against OKC, and then they didn't cover as a favorite. Miami's doing Miami things.
They are. Unfortunately, that means Miami's in a downswing right now. But I think I am going to lean to Denver. I'm not going to bet it. I don't feel great about it. Miami's a team that right now I just think is kind of going through it again. They've been up and down for most of the year. We're actually on them pretty on point for the fading and the backing for the first half of the season. It seems like they're starting to get back into a downswing, so I'm going to lean to Denver. It's not going to be easy. Russell, I see your messages. I'm breaking down the game first. I'll mention.
Yeah, we're talking. We're in the middle of a conversation.
I see you, Russell. Chill. I'm going to mention it in a second. Okay. We get to the total after the sides. I'm going to mention that in a second. But anyway, I do think Denver just is going to be a bit more consistent than the Heat in this spot. It's, for me, I wonder if Denver's actually going to come out firing because they were really bad for the first 2.5 quarters against Toronto last time out at home. And we know that Malone doesn't put up with any of that. It would not shock me if after the no-show of the first half against Toronto, this team actually shows up early in this game. But I think I am going to lean to Denver. It's not going to be easy per se. I think it's going to be a close game. I do like the under. Russell, I do like the fourth quarter under. I see a very physical playoff-type atmosphere late in that game. So I do agree about the fourth quarter under as well. But I'm going to lean Denver because down the stretch, I know Denver's going to get good possessions. I don't know that about Miami. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm going to lean to Denver. Close game. Give me Denver by 5.
That Toronto
kind of
really
a carbon copy of the first meeting, to be honest.
That Toronto game just doesn't sit well with me. It really doesn't. It just doesn't sit well with me. There was nobody playing for Toronto.
Yeah.
Nobody. There was nobody playing for Toronto, and the fact that it just I can't back Denver after that, especially at home. Like maybe if it was at Toronto, you're on an East Coast road trip, and now you just left home and you're starting your East Coast road trip. Yeah, I'm gonna continue to back the trend. Taking Miami as a dog has been good to us this year.
I'm going to try to use
Let's
that
see.
Toronto no-show to my advantage, and I'm going to hope Malone make sure his guys show up early for that game. That's kind of my argument. But yeah, you might be right. Who knows?
215.5. You talked about the fourth quarter under. Actually, I mean, I'd have to look into it a little bit more to get a real thought on it. I don't really bet fourth quarter unders, but
I like the under in general.
I think, I'm about to say, I think I do like the under for the game overall. Like, I think this is, like I said, I think this would be, like you said, I think it's going to be a playoff atmosphere. Like, I really do. And I think Miami's going to be able to keep it close with really good defense. And both of these two teams are going to go back and forth. Maybe Detroit gets a win and Miami covers, or maybe, Miami wins it outright. But I like the under 215.5. That's pretty solid play. Player props, anything?
Well, for the under, first meeting of the season landed 200. We saw the NBA Finals last year. A lot of people couldn't stand the finals because every game seemed like a rock fight. There were a lot of unders in that playoff series too. So I'll keep backing the unders there. For player props, I know last meeting I tried to give out Joker triple-double. He didn't get there. I don't think I'm going to give it out in this game. Miami does a pretty good job of at least trying to prevent Joker from having these monster games. He might have one anyway because he's Joker. But Miami with Spo, I think they're going to come up with a good game plan to at least try to deal with him. I think I do like Michael Porter Jr. unders because I feel like he always struggles against Miami. I want to pull that up, but let me just quickly see
whoa, sir. He had 30 and 11 a couple of weeks ago.
That was against the Heat?
Whoa. Yes, he had 30 and 11.
I do not recall that. Let me look that up. Sorry, I do not recall that.
It was insane. It was insane.
You were right. I do not remember that. Okay, my bad. I mean,
I can't even let you get away with that one.
I didn't realize he had a monster game in there. I saw the total was so low. I didn't think Porter Jr. did much in that game. My bad. 17-10. It's actually done better against Miami than I thought. I'll tell you the crazy part about that stat line for Porter. The crazy part for that stat line for Porter, besides the 30 points, he had 3 assists. Good for Porter Jr. He had 3 assists in that game. I'm proud of him. Yeah, my bad. I didn't know he had 30.
Pass. Anytime he gets the ball in his hand, I don't even see the ball get to his hand. By the time they pass to him, it's already up at the rim.
I think that's what I was thinking of. Adam said he did nothing against the Celtics. I think that's where I was confusing it. I know he had a bad game against one of those teams. For rebounds, I think I'm just going to go with Joker rebounds in this game. I do wonder who's going to be getting the Butler assignment. Who do you think is going to get the Butler assignment? Gordon? Or do you think it's going to be KCP?
Aaron Gordon does really, really good with him just because of the length. And so I think I would say it's going to be Aaron Gordon, but I you know how they do. It may be Aaron Gordon for a quarter, for a half, and then KCP may get some time playing against them. So yeah, I think it's majority Gordon though, because Gordon really did really, really good against them in that playoff series.
Yeah, the Porter Jr. thing against Miami was most of the playoff series where he just couldn't shoot. So that might have been what I was thinking of mostly. But he did have 16. Gordon did against the Heat last time out. I don't know if I want to back it, though, because he's mostly a rim runner. I still don't trust his jump shooting. I do see Aaron Gordon steals is at a half, and the over half is pretty tempting. He's gone over in 7 of 10. He's actually done a good job of getting steals against Miami. Going through the last couple of meetings against the Heat, he has had at least 1 steal in 4 straight games, including the playoff series against Miami. He had 3 steals against them in the February meeting. So I do think that Gordon over half a steal at minus 133 is a pretty solid price in that one.
I might have to play that today because if you're guarding Butler's always going to have the ball in his hands. You're going to have so many chances to just poke it out one time, especially if they try to force the ball to him. That's how I can see he gets the steal. They try to force the ball to Butler and he just pokes it out the way. So yeah, I
might try to do that. I might try to do that on future pods. I know I won with the Olynyk threes. I might look for like a low-hanging fruit half, like one prop that just goes over with 1. I think Gordon
and it's always you're always in it. If you don't have it through 3 quarters, you can get 1 steal in the 4th from cash. So like you did with Olynyk. So yeah, I'm with it. All right, nice little card we got there. Bam probably has a good game, but I'm not going to bet it. So do with that as you wish. I like Michael Porter Jr. rebounds.
I can't believe he had 30 last game against Miami. I
Yeah,
feel like an
he
idiot. I
cooked
just didn't
them.
realize
He
he had
cooked
30 in that
them.
game. I didn't
That's
realize.
the reason we ain't get the Miami outright. All right, man.
The only thing I remember from that
Miami
entire
on the money
game
line
was
today.
Joker trying to. The only thing I remember for that entire game was Joker trying to draw a shooting foul from 95 feet. It's the only thing I remember from that entire game. That's all I remember.
Figures. Yeah, I'm playing Miami on the money line today. Michael Porter Jr. is not giving another 30. He's not.
That's fair.
All right. Let's see here. I have the Charlotte Hornets. Yeah, Charlotte Hornets on the road, going to play the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies played yesterday where they helped me out with the Wizards getting the win as a 3-point dog. They are now catching 1.5 at home to the Charlotte Hornets. 203 is total. New lowest total of the year, I think.
I think it is. I know the Nets
game
against the Grizzlies had it, and that game went over, but I think that was 205 or 204.5.
So 203. Injury report. We have Trey Mann questionable. Bryce McGowan's out. No LaMelo, Mark Williams, Cody Martin, Seth Curry. And for Jesus Christ, these injury reports. Okay, so TBD for the for the Grizzlies. But we'll see what happens with Lamar Stevens, Scottie Pippen Jr., Jaren Jackson Jr., Vince Williams Jr., Yuta Watanabe. And then the ones that we know are officially not playing is Derrick Rose, Zaire Williams, Marcus Smart, Desmond Bane. Where are we at? Here we go. Oh, my bad. You pressed it at the same time. Pressed it at the same time there. All right. So clear Tolo Boy game here. All right.
One's on a back-to-back, right? Like
I can't give a side. I really can't give a side.
Okay.
I really can't. I don't know who's playing for Charlotte. And I'm not taking the Charlotte team when they have injuries. They're only good when all of those guys that came over for the trade are healthy. They went to immediately being shit again as soon as the injuries start coming through. So, I mean, maybe we get Trey Mann and that changes my feelings. Honestly, Trey Mann will be the thing that might make me lean to the Hornets. But as of right now, if Trey Mann doesn't play, that's too many. No Seth Curry, no Trey Mann. Yeah, no. I'm straight. So give me Grizzlies. I've been rolling with the Grizzlies recently. I'm going to keep it going.
I mean, I thought about taking something with Misic, but unfortunately his props are already juiced because everybody else is injured. So Misic is at like 7.5 assists. I was hoping it'd be lower. It's not. I can't take him at 7.5. That's kind of crazy. So yeah, I don't really have much for player props in this game. I saw Trey Jameson actually had a really good game last time out. I think he had 24 last night. But in a toilet bowl game, one team's on a back-to-back. The other team's been competitive, or at least good defensively for the most part. The question is, can Charlotte score? I actually like the under. It's a disgusting game. I'm going to lean under in this one. I do not think that maybe either team reaches 100 points. I think this game is first to 95 wins. It's going to be really ugly. I'm going to lean under.
I probably should have mentioned this a little bit more in the Brooklyn-Orlando game too. But I have a thought. And these low totals, whenever the low totals actually go over, it's because the winning side forced it over. The losing side did what they were supposed to do by not scoring, but they were so bad defensively that the other side ended up sending the total over by maybe a couple of points or something like that. I feel like I've lost some of these really low totals. So new plan. And I'll probably do it for the Orlando game too, fading Orlando because I'm kind of on Brooklyn. But I'm just going to take the team that I'm fading and I'm going to take their team total under. And if I think you're going to lose the game, no way you get over the team total. Maybe the other team wins and they win by 20 and they force this over, but no way you get over the total. So as of right now, I don't have Charlotte winning, so I would take Charlotte team total under. But let's just pay attention to those two games today and see if either one goes over, how it went over. Because I feel like these low total games, if they do go over, it goes over because one team just beat the shit out of the other team and forced it over when really it probably should have went under.
from what I remember with that Nets-Grizzlies game, it was flying under, and then there were a bunch of late scores and a bunch of fouling, and the game went over in the final, 20 seconds. That's what I remember happening in that game, which was trending under for most of the way through. Are we just going back to Miles Bridges' rebounds?
Yep.
I mean, it's been good to us. We're expecting a rock fight. Charlotte has been relying on him pretty heavily for rebounds. Looking at Bridges' the last couple games, he has had at least, going through the last 10 games, he's had at least 10 rebounds in 6 of the 10. He's had at least 9 rebounds in 7 of the 10, and his number's at 8.5. So at minus 105, actually. So I am tempted by the over 8.5 rebounds for Bridges. I see Russell asking about Miller's points under. I'm assuming you're on that because if you like the Hornets to get stopped, then you're probably expecting Miller to do nothing, right?
Yeah, I
Right?
mean, I don't expect to see much, especially if Jaren Jackson Jr. plays. Like, I think he'll have a little bit tougher of a day, actually.
What do you think Jaren Jackson would guard him, or do you think he'd be guarding like?
No, I think
Nick
that it
Richards
takes away I think the rim protection takes away everything easy, and so if you take away everything easy, and then you're just depending on jump shooting, and I mean he's been really really solid. Like he has his 2 moves at this point in the season that he can really go to and score, but I just don't think the scoring is consistent enough. That is, if he isn't getting anything by the rim, that he's going to be able to go over his prop. But that's just
that's fair. I think Miller at this stage in his career is more of a pull-up guy. So I'm kind of hoping that Jaren Jackson being in the paint might actually lead to more shot attempts because he might just be consistently pulling up if he finds his groove. But yeah, the Grizzlies are prop killers according to Buddha. He's not wrong. Their games are hideous. They play good defense. Like, it's really not a lot of fun.
I love this team.
With this team.
I love this team. I've never been so much of a fan of a team that's 20 games under 500 like I have the Grizzlies.
They try so hard. The team's not talented. I've been giving Taylor Jenkins props all year long. What's he supposed to do?
Bro, if winning was not a criteria for Coach of the Year, I would 100% be screaming Taylor Jenkins. Like, only because winning is criteria. If winning was not criteria, I would be screaming Taylor Jenkins because this team goes out and competes every single game. Like, they have their couple of duds where the other team is just straight up better than them that we know, but they at least compete. Like, they really do. This team is gonna. I've been screaming that this team's gonna win it all next year. I'm still on it.
I'm gonna lean under in this game anyway. To go back to what we talked about before, I just don't see any scores. Really, both sides. Jameson was good yesterday. Jaren Jackson Jr., if he ends up playing, which is a big if, then of course that'll give him some rim protection. I know he can score as well. I'm just going to lean under. Give me a rock fight. Give me I don't even know, 99 to like 89 game. Something really ugly.
Yeah, another under game for me. All right. Any other player props? Anything? I feel like we kind of touched everything there.
I want to just move on to another game.
But I have to do one more read because I suck.
We have 3 of them.
Forgot. Yes, we do. I forgot about that. So, Hall of Fame Bets. Hall of Fame Bets is a sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NBA, soccer. Hey, they even got MLB up there. I know it doesn't say that, but that's around the corner, Scott. You can tap in on MLB. I love using Hall of Fame Bets. Green is what you want to see when you put it in the parlay optimizer tool and be able to see if your parlay is fully optimized with hit rate, probability, expected probability, all of that. So make sure you tap in with Hall of Fame Bets. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month. Today, start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. All right. Hall of Fame Bets told me that Pascal Siakam double was a good play yesterday.
Munaf told me that, so I just listened to him on the show.
Yeah, but Munaf got it from Hall of Fame Bets because he's a sponsor of the show and he's a company man. All right, man, let's give it a slate. We got the Cleveland Cavaliers on the road going to play the New Orleans Pelicans. My nemesis, the New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans open up -7.5, currently sitting at -6.5 to 16.5 is total injury report for these two teams. And we have for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Darius Garland's not on the injury report. Donovan Mitchell is questionable after 7 games missed. Max Strus is out. Dean Wade is out. Evan Mobley is on IR. Tristan Thompson got suspended. And for the Pelicans, Dyson Daniels is the only person missing this game. All right, potentially have the return of Donovan Mitchell. The numbers already dropped to 6.5. I guess people are backing the Cavs here. Pelicans pretty solid at home though. What are you doing?
So you're assuming Mitchell's going to play, correct?
I'm not assuming anything. Well, okay. So Underdog, shout out to Underdog. Make sure you use that promo code at NBA SGPN. Underdog literally just popped up as you said that Donovan Mitchell participating in shoot around Wednesday. So that's good.
That's a good sign if you want to take Cleveland. I do think I'm going to lean to New Orleans, but Mitchell, maybe he's on a min restriction, maybe he's not. It's also kind of interesting that as soon as Mitchell was officially ineligible for any of the awards or anything, now he's going to return. Now you should actually load manage because you got nothing to lose at this point. You might want to just keep him healthy at this point. But still, I think I'm going to lean to New Orleans. This team's been very good at home all season long. 18-12. You're looking at Cleveland being a good road team, though, at 19-11. Pelicans won the first meeting back in December by 19 on the road. Cleveland has not been in good form, but Mitchell's been out, so you can kind of draw a line through it. But with Mobley being out, I just question the overall front court depth of this Cavs team. And now you have to deal with Valanciunas. You have to deal with Zion. You got to deal with Ingram. You got to deal with Larry Nance off the bench. Pelicans have a lot of size. And when you put George Niang as your starting power forward, I have problems with your rebounding by comparison. I like Allen rebounds. He's going to have go nuts on the boards in this game. But I just think that New Orleans is going to dominate on the inside throughout the majority of this game. I'm going to lean to New Orleans. They've won 4 straight. Every win by at least 8 points. Against some weak teams, beat Atlanta, beat Philly, beat Toronto, all on the road, and they beat Indiana at home. I think I'm just going to lean to New Orleans. The team's been playing good basketball. They're good at home. And it's just a size difference for me. Niang is your starting power forward. Good luck trying to rebound. I'm going to go with New Orleans in the spot. I'm assuming you're leaning Cleveland. I've been wrong on the Pelicans the entire year. So
I've been wrong on the Pelicans for the entire year. I was literally just about to say, here's the fade. Yeah, I was literally just about to say, here's the Pelicans fade for the day because I've been wrong on the Pelicans all year. The only time I was right was last game against the Hawks. And I mean, come on now, I'm not taking the Hawks. But yeah, man, I don't know.
Is this a contest? Whoever between us officially loses this game is the official Pelicans fade? And whoever wins is off the hook? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, because my first reaction was to actually take the Cavs plus 6.5. But I kept going back and forth with it because I'm always wrong about the Pelicans. Even the times that I think it's one time that I said I'm always wrong about the Pelicans. And so I'm going to do the opposite of what I was going to do. And I did the opposite. And then the thing that I was going to say first actually hit. Just continue fade. Continue to fade me. Yes, I will continue to slander the Hawks because the Hawks didn't cover that game, and it's the only Pelicans game that I've gotten right all year. So I will continue to slander the Hawks. But no shot. I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy that we're both on opposite sides of this one, but I have a slight lean in Cleveland plus 6.5.
It's not crazy because we can't figure out this Pelicans team. I mean, that's why it's not really crazy. Bad. Plus, Mitchell's returning, so it is a pretty weird game to handicap this far in advance because we have to see if he's actually playing. Is there a min restriction? There might be. He hasn't played in 2 weeks. So Mitchell might be on a min restriction. We'll see what happens, but I'll lean New Orleans at home. Whatever. They should dominate the boards. They really should.
This Atlanta team actually won and covered against Cleveland, too, so maybe I should be on New Orleans.
No. We got to stick with this. Whoever loses is the official Pelicans fade.
It's the official Pelicans fade for the rest of the year. All right.
Pretty much. Yeah.
All right. I cannot wait for the answer to this question. Total is sitting where are we at? Is JR still in here talking about the Hawks? Oh, the Hawks are the worst ATS team in the league. Stop talking about the Hawks. 216.5.
It's not even this year. They're probably the worst ATS team I've seen in several years. They're all-time
I've never seen somebody that if you bet the Hawks every single game, you would be way in the hole. Constantly talk about the Hawks. No.
If you bet against the Hawks the entire year, you'd be on an island somewhere.
Maybe you'd
be chilling
anymore.
They're still 100% the worst. They have not been on a stretch. They've been getting killed recently.
Let's see.
Atlanta's
Yep.
definitely not on the
Still
stretch.
22-42 ATS, 34.4%. If you were betting the Hawks every single game this year, we're not even okay. Let's talk about player props so we can talk about the Hawks game because we gotta just go ahead and go into this. Any player props you like for this one?
I got to mention Jared Allen rebounds. If I am going to criticize the actual lack of size depth that the Cavs have, I got to go with whoever can rebound on this team. So I'm going to go with Jared Allen. He's at 11.5. I still have to like it. Somebody has to rebound the ball, and it's not going to be George Niang. No offense to Niang. So, yeah, give me Jared Allen rebounds over in this one. I was tempted by Karis LeVert assists. The problem is he might be going back to the bench. He's been really good at facilitating, but now Mitchell's back. So I kind of have to ignore that prop now. I'm hoping the number dies down. Maybe he'll come off the bench and he'll drop like 6 assists. So keep an eye out for that one. I feel like people are going to blindly chase Mitchell points. I don't like that angle. He hasn't played in 2 weeks. Like, I'm not going to take his overs.
Hey,
I actually
man.
would consider an under.
Hey, man. I will say this. There's a couple of guys that I can think of that have missed some time and came back and were fire in that first game. Like, I think DeAndre Ayton missed some time and he had 30. Who was the other
Which time, though?
Ayton
missed the game because his
I think
driveway was ice.
No, but I think it was both. I think it was two different stretches that he missed a few games and then came back and had a really big game in the first game. And I was like, damn, I should have played Ayton today. It's somebody
kind of a
else
mix,
that I'm
though,
thinking
because
of that I'm blanking, man.
Mitchell might get the Herb Jones treatment, and he's coming back from injury. The Herb Jones treatment's not a fun time.
Yeah, it's not.
I would lean to Mitchell unders, but I'm not going to. I'm going to wait for a number. We'll see if he plays. But it's mostly going to be Jared Allen, his overall rebounds. I'm tempted by.
Yeah, Jared. Yeah, Afro Man. I really can't. I don't think I really feel good with anybody else other than Afro Man, to be honest, in this one. But that's just
actually
because
I'll throw in Trey Murphy threes. Give me Murphy threes in this game. Murphy's been really good. He's
Cavs giving up 38.8.
So damn good.
Cavs giving up 38.8% to 3 in the last 5 games. That is 24th in the NBA as well. So, man.
Can I read off the Murphy threes for the last couple games?
Yep.
6, 2, 10, 6. He's at least 6.
Now I want you to read the attempts. Now read the attempts.
6 for 13,
crazy.
2 for 7, 10 of 14, and 6 of 12. So he's he's been hitting like 50%.
You're telling me if he's putting it up 10 to 12 times a game, he's not gonna hit 3, 4? Like, come on.
He should. He's had 6 plus and 3 or 4. Like, he's been incredible.
What line did you get?
I'm a big Trey Murphy guy, so I'm on his over. I didn't see a line on him because I don't know if he's going to start this game or not. But it's probably going to be around 3.5, give or take.
Maybe
I kind of hope he comes off the bench. I hope he comes off the bench. You can get a better line. But I wouldn't mind maybe considering taking like an alt line there. 6 plus and 3 of 4. You can get a very nice price there.
All right. Well, it's no Steph in that game. Either way, let's just go ahead and get the toilet bowl game out the way. Atlanta Hawks on the road going to play the Portland Trailblazers. Atlanta open up -2, currently -3.5. 217.5 is total injury report for these two teams. And we have for the Atlanta Hawks, Jalen Johnson is doubtful. Trae Young is not playing. Sadiq Bey towards ACL. He's out for the year. Noah Okongwu as well. And for the Portland Trailblazers, you have Jerami Grant questionable. Wow, it's a whole bunch of people that Ray and Rupert is questionable. Jabari Walker is out. Malcolm Brogdon's out. Shaedon Sharpe is out. So injuries on both sides.
Is Chauncey Billups suiting up tonight?
Possibly.
They could use him.
Again, Hawks 22-42 ATS this season. Literally the worst ATS team in the league.
I'm hoping for a longest yard situation where Chauncey Billups like puts on a jersey and tries to play point guard. Just like the coach is like, all right, like we need somebody.
You know what? I really don't. I'm not questioning this. Give me Portland plus the points. I'm not taking the worst ATS team in the league. Like, I'm not doing it. Portland's better ATS, and it's actually by 13 percentage points.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
Like
Portland's 30 and 34.
Stats. If fading Atlanta blindly this year, you're you're batting like 600. Like you probably won 60+% of your bets if you just blindly faded Atlanta ATS the entire season. And they were
That's
favored in a
insane.
ton of those games. You take the money line in those games, you've made so much money because Atlanta lost outright as a massive favorite multiple times this season. Both these teams are extremely injured. This team, I think I have to lean to Portland. This team's just healthier. Just simply put. I mean, I know Scoot's kind of had a messy rookie season, but he's back. Simons is still there. Who's probably is he the best player? I don't know. You could argue that Murray's better, but my point is Murray's kind of been underwhelming with Atlanta too. I think Ayton's better than Capella. I don't think that's close. It's a disgusting game. I'm not laying 3.5 with Atlanta on the road. I'm going to lean to Portland. I'm not going to bet this game. I'll look for maybe props, but damn, man. Let's go Duop Reef. Let's have a nice bench game for Duop Reef. Like, I don't know what you want from me. Like, these teams are terrible. That's all I got to say.
Hey, man, the chat is in here trolling JR. They're instigating. They're like all-time instigators right now. Oh, man.
The Sadiq Bey injury is massive. Like, that's a massive injury.
No, so
Jalen Johnson might not play.
Did it feel random?
It did.
Did I miss that? Did I miss him leaving
and then it
that
came
game?
out a couple hours later.
Yeah, did I miss him leaving the game or something? Like, I really did. I just didn't feel like maybe because I missed that portion of the game. Maybe I missed that. But I was like, man, I don't even remember him having a knee injury. And now he's got a torn ACL. Like, that really
even Jalen Johnson's out,
really
though. I'm going to ask JR because he defends Atlanta. How many players on the team do you actually like now? Bey, I don't mind. I like Jalen Johnson. Trey's already injured. What do you have? You have Bogey. Bogey's a good three-point shooter. DeJounte has been okay with Trey being out, but he's kind of been underwhelming this year for the most part. Capella, I think most Hawks fans don't like. What does Atlanta have that you actually like in terms of their roster? Like, what are they good at? Do they have anything?
I'm actually curious. I'm curious on where you're betting this because I would not bet this game with a 10-foot pole. So I'm not very curious. But we break down every game here on the NBA Gambling Podcast for those who are new who don't know. So of course we're going to talk about it. 217.5 is total. Well, I mean, if you back Atlanta, they're going to score.
Yeah, over.
Yeah, you'll lean over because I mean, if you think Atlanta is gonna, but if Portland wins, and I fully expect Portland to win, this is going under. It's going to win because Atlanta wasn't hitting shots, and that if they're not on offensively, it's a really really ugly game for them. When does Atlanta win a bunch of close ugly games? And that's all the Portland Trailblazers do is play ugly games. So I think this game.
Well, the answer is not much because Atlanta doesn't win many games. Got him. Anyway, yeah, Adam's. I see Adam mentioning that Ayton's had at least 20 and 15 in back-to-back games. That was my main angle. Yep. I just like how Ayton's played. I'll keep going back to
now
for now.
I will say that don't allow that to be too much propaganda though, because in the last game he did play the Boston Celtics, and you are guaranteed 20 and 15 against the Boston Celtics. You start your centers against Celtics. So while he did play really really well, I will admit he did play Boston. And so that's a bump up. It is.
But it's a great part of the calendar year for it's a great part of the calendar year for Ayton because the team's eliminated from any type of contention. Nobody's watching them play. Now he puts up numbers. Nobody cares. So now Ayton can put up numbers to boost his overall season averages because there's no pressure. So I think Ayton keeps playing well in meaningless games. That's kind of what I expect Ayton to do. So yeah, I like Ayton props in this game.
Jabari Walker's
Bogdanovich threes. I'm probably tempted by 2.
This again. Walker is out. Grant's questionable. Somebody else is going to rebound the basketball in this game. I'm expecting an ugly game. There's going to be a bunch of rebounds to go around. So somebody else is going to rebound the basketball.
I'd probably guess Jeremy Grant if I had to pick somebody. For Atlanta, might just be Capella by default. Okonkwo's injured, so maybe just go Capella. But
hey, man, they've been playing Bruno. Bruno got an interview the other day. I don't know if you saw that. Bruno got a post-game interview the other day.
That's how you know your team's close to rock bottom. That's not a good. That's not a good sign. That means your entire team's dead if Bruno's getting interviews. That's kind of rough. No offense to Bruno, but yeah, that's probably not a good sign. But yeah, for threes, Bogey's at 3.5. He's really not been going over recently. And Portland's randomly good at defending the 3-point line. So I actually take it back. I forgot Portland's randomly good at guarding the 3-point line. So yeah, I think I'm just on Ayton, and I'll just move on. Oh, maybe DeJounte based on volume.
I was about to say a DeJounte PRA sounds good because again, I think that there's a lot of rebounds up for grabs, and DeJounte comes down with a number of those. So DeJounte PRA is an option as well. But that's literally the only person in Atlanta that I would bet. I don't even think I'm on a Capella wave right now. I'll probably only bet DeJounte. Golden State Warriors on the road going to play the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas is laying 7 at home, open up 8.5, and now it's at 7. 233 is the total. That's even dropped from 236.5. For the Golden State Warriors, only person on injury report, Steph Curry. They said he actually resuming on-court workouts, so may be seeing Steph come back soon, but he's out right now. And Brandon Williams is out.
Said initially they were hoping or they were planning for Steph to play in this game, and he's not. So that was the initial plan. So he should be playing next game.
Okay. I didn't know that. Brandon Williams out with the wrist injury for the Dallas Mavericks. That's it. So two relatively, Steph, you can't really say relatively healthy because of Steph Curry, but it's not a bunch of injuries. Except for what's going to happen to Trace Jackson Davis tonight. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I really, I don't mean to wish ill on you, but it's just too much. We have a 3-person sample size of Ja, of Embiid, of Şengün, and I feel like it was even one more person. So
yeah, it was Kai Jones.
Kai Jones isn't even in the league anymore. Oh yeah.
Oh no, he went off the rails. So
Oh man. By the way, I'm not laying points with the Mavericks at home. They're very, very close to the Heat, where I'm just not going to play points with them at home. So I'm just going to blindly take the Warriors tonight. Maybe Mavs win, but this is a close game. I'm taking the Warriors +7.
I think I'm going to agree with you on the spread. Dallas has played better lately. They better have played better lately. Lucas had 7 straight triple-doubles, and you're losing all of the first couple ones. So at least he started winning some games now. But Dallas beat the Bulls, the Pistons, and the Heat have not been playing good basketball lately. Congrats, I guess. You beat teams you were supposed to beat. I'm going to go with Golden State here. Yes, I know with Steph being out offensively, they are not exactly a solid team, but I think defensively they can give Luka some looks. I think they'll come up with a decent game plan to kind of let Luka get his, try to stop the others, and I do think you're going to end up seeing Golden State hang in there. I'm not saying Golden State's going to win the game. It's a big spread to lay with a team that doesn't guard anybody. Dallas is just a really, really bad defensive team. And I don't want to lay 3 possessions with a team that hands out 115, 120 points to basically any team in the league. So I'm not going to lay this spread with Dallas. They can't guard anybody. I'm going to lean to Golden State.
Yeah, I'm interested in a Golden State team total over, even without Steph. Chris Paul running the show in the offense. If you're just going to give open looks, Chris Paul running the show, he's going to find them. So I like Golden State team total over. Yeah, 113. Yeah, I'm really don't want to play with the full game total because I think it's a possibility that Golden State actually steps up defensively and Dallas doesn't do anything. This is an ugly game. I may be talking about this game at the end of the show, but Golden State team total over 113. It feels like a pretty good bet. I think that they're good. At the very least, Golden State is going to be able to score, especially after giving up 97 to the Bulls. You're not going to do that 2 games in a row, people. They're about to go back to their losing, no defense ways. Give me the team total over for Golden State Warriors. Any thoughts on the total for you?
I think I'm going to lean over, but I prefer the team total over for Golden State. I just think offensively they should be able to get some good looks against Dallas's questionable defense. I do want to ask you, though, just about this actual spread. I know that, of course, they've been winning games recently, and that's great. Is it a sideshow now that Luka's had X games in a row with a triple-double? Because now they're kind of force-feeding him stats, and they're trying to, get him to keep the streak going. Is that going to get at some point?
But the triple-double streak really wasn't the streak that people were interested in. It was the 30-point triple-double streak that ended last game. That was the one people are on. So I think that now it's just, honestly, I would love to say that they're just statting it, and and I hate that. Back in the day, Russ and James Harden got this same flack when they were putting up together triple doubles. Like, I really don't think these guys be stat padding. I think they're just that good. So, yeah, nah, I'm not fading triple double.
To be fair, Luka taking step back threes up 30 in the fourth quarter, that is stat padding, and he didn't get there. But still, like, that Bulls game was unholy levels of attempted stat padding in that game. To be fair, that was the definition of stat padding. That Bulls game. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah, but that was just, I mean, he was trying to get to the 30. Now he doesn't.
No,
now
it's
the
a
streak's
standard
over.
NBA.
So if he just goes out there and gets 30 again, then he's just doing it because he can. Like, he's not doing it for any reason. So plus, I think he's gonna have to play majority of this game because I don't think they're gonna run away with this at all. Here we go. Oh, I wanted to tell a story real quick because I thought it was funny because we had a company happy hour this past week. And the NBA show went out there and we normally do these underdog lineups for our company happy hour and do it in between ourselves. NBA gave out 3 plays. 3 plays. We gave out Wemby points. We gave out Luka triple-double spicy. We gave out Ayton points. And it all hit. Man, even Noah's college basketball play hit. So we get to the next day. And the last play.
Soccer.
Soccer play killed us. It was a soccer bet that killed us. Oh man.
It didn't just kill us. It was a forward.
It was like 20 minutes. 20 minutes, it was over.
It was a forward to commit less than 2 fouls in the game. First minute, guy commits a foul. The first minute of the match, the guy commits a foul. I think he finished with like 4 fouls. I don't even remember. But that killed the entire underdog.
Shout out to the EPL gambling, the Premier League gambling podcast. Make sure you guys check those guys out because the corners ladders are crazy. Y'all think that our ladders are great? Man, go check out the Premier League gambling podcast. The corners ladders are crazy. Love that. But yeah, man, he was like, yo, that is the most fouls he's had in a game all year. Like, it's insane. And it's always the last leg. It's always the last leg. Or the last entry. Or I don't know. I got to look and see what I'm supposed to say there. All right. Last game of the slate. Oh, wait. Player props. I'm sorry. Player props. Anything else? Chris Paul. Chris Paul assist.
I mean, I think Luka gets another triple-double. I like Chris Paul assists. I got to like Clay threes. I thought when Chris Paul came back that he would be able to revive Clay. And he has. Clay's been really good for the last couple of weeks. Point guard. Back at it again. So, yeah, I'll go with Clay threes in this game. Does Gafford miss a shot? That's my question for you. Does Gafford miss a shot? He hasn't missed a shot in about a week and a half.
Yeah, Gafford misses a shot today.
I believe he's closing in on the all-time record. Just to go through Gafford's last couple of games, 9 for 9, 7 of 7, 5 of 5, 7 of 7. He has not missed a shot since the 3rd of March. So 4 straight games, he has officially made 28 of 28 shots.
Somebody find me a Gafford field goal percentage of Gafford field goal percentage play. There's no way.
Just saying, he's made 28 straight shots. Is he going to miss a shot tonight? That's what I'm asking.
Yes, he misses a shot today. But
28 of 28.
He literally only misses 1 today. That's it.
That's not free throws, by the way. From the floor, he's made 28 of his last 28 shots.
He only misses 1 today. That's it. Just 1.
Just saying, if nobody knew that in the chat, now you know. That's another piece of history that's in this game.
And it's the first one. That's the call. It's the first one. He misses the first one, then goes perfect after. All right. Los Angeles Lakers on the road, goes to play the Sacramento Kings. Kings open up -2.5. Now Lakers are a 2.5-point favorite. 238.5 is the total. Injury report here. And we have for the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron James questionable as always. Anthony Davis probable almost as always. Cam Reddish is out. Christian Wood, Jaren Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, Castleton is all out. And for the Sacramento Kings, you have Keegan Murray, CBD. Kings just played yesterday in a rout over the Bucks. Keegan did not play in that game. Trey Lyles is questionable. Sasha Vesikov not playing.
We're taking Sacramento, right?
I guess so. I kind of don't want to.
For the record, AD has never beaten Sabonis so I can't pick the Lakers in
Oh
this game.
yeah, I remember that.
Sabonis
I
is
forgot that they
9-0.
said that.
Sabonis is 9-0 lifetime against AD. We saw them play a couple weeks ago. I had money on the Lakers in that game. They led by 19 in the first 6 minutes, and then they gave up a 46-14 run in the next 12 minutes, and they got buried on their home floor. The Lakers just can't beat this team, just simply put. Now, based on my gambling luck in the past, since I bet the Lakers last time, they're going to win this time. But they can't beat this team. Fox will always kill this team. I think he had 44 last time they faced off. It just seems like Sabonis always has AD's number. Fox always has the Lakers' number. And the Lakers can't handle the pace that the Kings play at. So I'm going to lean to Sacramento. Yeah, and Harrison Barnes went over. That's true. Harrison Barnes went over in that game. Yeah, I'm going to lean to Sacramento.
I was laughing too. I was laughing. I was like, wow, Harrison Barnes is definitely going over.
He made a couple.
It's got to be when when Scott is 100% convicted that he's going under, that he's going to go over.
I still remember watching that Kings-Lakers game when they played it a week or two ago. The Kings missed one shot in the final 10.5 minutes of the second quarter. They made 18 of their last 19 shots in the second quarter.
I was on the Kings in that game.
It was insane to watch.
Which was crazy because they were down 20. They were down 20 in the first. And I was like, man, this is over already. And then second quarter comes around. I'm like, oh, we have a game. So, yeah, I'll take Kings +2. Sprinkle money line. This is just me fading the Lakers against the good teams, honestly. And the fact that they can't beat the Kings. But me really just...
I don't even know if the Kings are good. It's just a matchup thing. Nobody on this team has been able to guard Fox for about 3 years. Or Monk. Yeah. Monk killed them also a couple games ago. So, yeah, I expect Fox, Sabonis, Monk, all three of them to get whatever they want again. AD might have a monster game. He could. Sabonis has owned them their entire careers. I'm going to assume Sabonis owns them again.
238 total. No. Yeah. I mean, I do the same thing with De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox destroys his team, and I constantly play De'Aaron Fox against the Lakers. So, yeah. 3 straight wins for this team. This total has gone over in 2 of the last 3, but
went over
in 3 in the last 5.
Okay. I like the over.
Give me a Sacramento team total over at the very least.
Sacramento scored at least 125 in all 3 meetings this season.
Yeah, at the very least, give me a Sacramento team total over. All right. I feel like we talked about, I mean, it's you're on I was about to say Harrison Barnes, which was so funny, but I was literally about to let Harrison Barnes come out. Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. You're on De'Aaron Fox, you're on Sabonis, you're probably on AD in this spot. I mean, is there anybody that's just
in the spot?
Oh, okay.
I'm tired of hoping AD shows up against Sabonis. I can't stand betting on him against Sabonis. So no, I'm not going to. AD no-showed the last game against Sabonis. He barely scored for the final 3 quarters. So no, I'm not going to bother with him. I think LeBron's going to have a better game. I still don't think the Kings have anyone that can actually stop LeBron. And I think LeBron's going to attack the rim. So I probably look for LeBron. But it's mostly going to be Fox, mostly going to be Sabonis or Monk. And we'll go from there.
Yeah, I'm just going to continue the De'Aaron Fox wave. Not even questioning it. It's De'Aaron Fox for me. It's probably the prop I'm playing in this one. All right. That's it. All the games. Lock and all time. For my lock. Is anything getting off me at that Indiana over? Oh, Miami.
Is that a rhetorical question or you asked?
Miami is close. Over or Miami? Over or Miami? Over or Miami?
Like, you could use Miami as a dog if you want it.
Nah, because I already have my dog.
Okay.
Because I'm swinging for the fence today. So
I'm not even sure what that means. But
yeah,
I'm excited for it.
Let's go with. All right, Miami's an auto bet. So there we go. Miami's an auto bet. We're going with the over. Chicago and Indiana over 229. Again, 20-13 for the over for Indiana Pacers at home, opposed to what they do on the road. I understand that unders are really, really good right now. They just went under the night before, but that's also where they're better in that spot. They're just better on the road defensively than they are at home, and they end up scoring a whole bunch, and that's how these totals end up going over, because they don't play defense at home. They score a bunch at home. Chicago Bulls got embarrassed by the Dallas Mavericks last time out in Chicago. Like, this is a spot where I think Chicago Bulls are going to get up, and so they're going to be able to score. I expect Indiana to go out there and be able to score as well. So yeah, over Chicago and Pacers 229. That's my lock. Although Miami is auto bet, I'm betting Miami today. And for my dog, we're going with the Golden State Warriors on the money line at plus 225. And
all right,
I'm fading Dallas as a home favorite. I think that the slow pace that the Warriors can play with this game, with Chris Paul running the show, actually can really, really fuck with Dallas. And I'm expecting no defense to be played on the other side of the ball. If you give Chris Paul an offense in the half court and you're not playing defense, you might score every single possession. You may not have a lot of pace in the game, but you might score every possession, because no way you're just going to let Chris Paul pick you apart in this one. I think Chris Paul assist is really, really live, and I'm going to play Chris Paul double-double and be sweating out his points. So yeah, give me, and maybe I won't play the double. Maybe I'll just ladder his assist. I might do a Chris Paul assist ladder today. So yeah,
I'm going to ask you a question though. Do you want to parlay the Warriors money line with Luka triple double?
Sure.
Okay. I don't have that in front of me. I'm just wondering.
What is Luka's triple double even at now? Like, at this point, we're going 7 straight games. What is that even at? Plus 130 still. Yeah, I would. I 100% would.
Okay.
Reverse correlation there.
All right. So for my lock, I think I am going to do it. Lowest total of the season, hold my beer. Give me the under in the Hornets and the Grizzlies game. And I think it's at 203. I'm going to take it. I was on the fence if I actually wanted to lock it up, but then I looked at the actual metrics. I kind of have to. For the last 10 games, the Grizzlies ranked 26th in pace. A reminder, there's 30 teams in the league. Grizzlies ranked 26th in pace. Hornets ranked 23rd. In the last 10 games, do you want to guess which two teams have the worst offenses in the league?
The two that you're betting on right now?
That is correct. It is the Grizzlies and the Hornets. The Hornets are at 101.7. The Grizzlies are at 102.8. The third worst team is the Sixers at 107.7. They're 5+ points worse than the third worst offense in the league over the last 10 games. I got to go with the under. Just simply put, these teams can't score. Half the rosters are dead on both sides. Give me the under in this Hornets game as my lock. I'll take the under at 203. For my dog, I got a couple options here. I thought about maybe going with some type of Ayton prop, but I don't know if I'm ready for that type of commitment. What do I want to go with here? Did I like any dogs outright to win tonight? Like, I thought about maybe Chicago, but that team has not been playing good basketball lately.
Yeah, they're so due. They're so due.
We mentioned how bad the Pacers are on back-to-backs. That's kind of why I'm interested in it, but I might end up actually... You know what? I might actually go for a Clay bet in this one. Let me quickly just see what I can get for Clay threes. Just quickly looking around, because I think Clay actually might have a monster game in this one. He's at 4.5 threes. The over is at plus 140, which, I mean, I was kind of hoping it'd be a higher price. Sorry, I'm kind of just digging right now. What's Chris Paul assists at? Is that 7.5 assists? That actually might be worth something. What's Chris Paul for his
double-double? Well,
okay.
You don't like him scoring, but double-double is plus 280.
I can get Chris Paul 9.5 assists at plus 210. I'll take that. Give me Chris Paul over 9.5 assists at plus 210 as my dog.
Last 4 games, 8, 9, 5, 9. He's there. He's right there.
And Curry recently got injured. So there's an added bump to his minutes. So yeah.
Give me
the Chris Paul assist.
Any concern for the Chris Paul 30-point game? He had 19 last game.
No. Truth, it doesn't even matter. Brooks hasn't gotten a technical foul in a month and a half. Brooks has completely screwed my entire parlay. He still has 12 techs. He has
0
0 techs in a month and a half, which is really driving me nuts. But
You
I'm
just
not
need
concerned about the
one. You
points.
just need one double tech game, and you're back in business.
I know. I'm waiting for it. But I checked the ref report, and Scott Foster will not be there. So I am taking Chris Paul assists in this game.
Oh, great. Great
There
job.
you go.
Great job doing that, because I didn't even do that when I picked the Warriors. So great job going checking the ref report. All right. There we go. What's your plays again?
My plays are the under 203 in the Hornets and Grizzlies game as my lock. For my dog, give me Chris Paul 10+ assists at plus 210.
And I am on the over in the Chicago Bulls Indiana Pacers game, over 229. And I'm on Golden State to get the win on the road, plus 225. All right. Underdog. Well, let's go find Chris Paul and toss him in underdog.
I think his default line 7.5. So we can hopefully get the same line there.
Let's see. There we go. Golden State. Chris Paul. It's at 8. Not mad.
Okay.
I'm fine with it. Higher. 8 assists. What else do we like today? Afro Man. I feel like Afro Man's got to be in there.
I think his rebound should be at 11.5.
Oh, well, they don't have anything because Donovan Mitchell is questionable, so can't do that.
Boo. Boo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
All right.
I
mean, do you want Luka? You want Luka triple double until it loses?
Do we do Luka triple double until it loses?
Yeah, pretty much 7 straight. It's gonna be.
It's not even spicy anymore. No, it's not even spicy.
Oh, it's not
anymore.
even spicy anymore. Oh, that's
no,
terrible.
It's just
Okay,
higher. It's just higher.
That's
It's not
terrible.
even spicy. Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
Boo. Okay. You want Cade
Okay.
against Toronto?
Yeah, I can back Cade against Toronto. How do I want to back him?
Okay.
23 points, 7.5 assists. The higher is actually 0.9x on the 7.5 assists. Wow. Points and assists, 30 and 30 point. Yeah, 30 and a half. 30 and a half points and assists. I think that's the way
we can take that if you want it.
Yeah, that's the way I want to go. Cade, 30 and a half points.
And do you want Ayton? Ayton was good to us in the group underdog. Ayton doesn't play soccer, so he came through for
it. Was against the I only put him in there because we were playing the Celtics that day.
Yeah, I know, but he does have back-to-back games with like solid performances. I don't mind Ayton in this matchup.
And it's the Hawks. Come on now. I'm fine. All right, we'll take Ayton. Ayton higher, 17.5 points. That's how you want to play it, right?
Sure.
Good.
I think he'll score 20.
There we go. We have Cade Cunningham higher, 30.5 points and assists. Chris Paul higher, 8 assists, and DeAndre Ayton higher, 17.5 points. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN at Underdog Fantasy. Get down on that pick'em lineup, and you have a chance to win 6x your money. $100 gets you $600, and so forth. So make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. Scott, anything else for people before we get up out of here?
No, I gave out a total of 203. So what can possibly go wrong? I'll be back tomorrow. So there you go.
Starter said 0 chance. I'm taking Clay at 4.5. Yeah, it's kind of insane.
By the way, a reminder: if you do want more MLB coverage, I'll be back later today with Munaf and Ariel, who's guest appearing. We're going to be doing the AL East. If you want to stop by for the MLB show.
Ariel's sharp. We've had Ariel on the NBA Gambling Podcast before. She's real sharp. So
I've never met her, but we're going to be on the same show later. So
you're gonna be dog. Like her process, like she loves K props, and she just went through her process of figuring out K props, and I was like, oh yeah, she knows what she's talking about. So I definitely tell her with the K props for sure. All right, that's it. Nothing else. Make sure you follow us at NBA SGPN. He's at Reichel Radio on Twitter. I'm at reallyreal__. And we will be back tomorrow, where we'll be Scott and Moonoff breaking down the Thursday games. And I'll be back on Friday. Make sure you leave us a 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcast. And like the video if you are in YouTube. We've got 50 people on YouTube right now. Make sure you like the video before you get up out of here. Other than that, I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending 52. No other way of ending the podcast. Just ending it like this. We are out of here.